Based on what you shared, the DSM-5 criteria matches your symptoms for the major depression disorder. So you will be using stuff like SSRIs to help increase the serotonin in your brain.
But isn't that just a label? Like, I think I've had a very trauma-filled childhood, and I wasn't allowed to express my emotions and feelings, and for you to say that I struggle with depression and anxiety, like, I feel like that's just a label. Is being sad a disorder?
So what we just saw is the medical model, and it treats psychological distress more as a pathology, and it focuses on biological processes and brain chemistry and genetics. And it's really useful. It gives mental health care structure and gives us treatments that are tested and reliable. But
the medical model doesn't look at the whole picture and everything the individual is going through. There can be various factors that are social, environmental, have to do with their childhood and trauma, and that might not be coming into consideration. But there could also be alternative therapies and long-term benefits and ways of coping that aren't looked at through the medical model.
The hippocampus is the part of the brain that associates different experiences, like music, or in this case, for early childhood development, trauma, and sort of that stress with memories. And when that happens in the hippocampus, it actually shrinks. And so not only when someone goes through trauma do they experience depression and anxiety from that, but it's actually physically present in their hippocampus because it's a smaller size than it should be.
The amygdala is the part of the brain that detects threats and triggers fear responses. So when it starts becoming overactive, a small stress in a person can make them feel overwhelmed.
so the medical model doesn't fit every culture. Some might see psychological distress as a spiritual matter or a family matter, not as a disease that's in their brain.
It also doesn't include various experiences going on in one's life, like someone may be facing loneliness or have severe trauma or family issues that are going on, as well as financial struggles and poverty or even discrimination. So it doesn't look at all of those life things that are going on.
That's why we need an alternative approach that's aware of the person's life as a whole, and it's humanistic. And essentially it just focuses on the person and not the pathology.
Peace out. I'm gonna go eat ice cream now.
You brought up something very important. Can we explore how your background has shaped your experience?
You know, me, like growing up, me and my mom, we didn't have enough money to maintain a stable income because after my dad died, we moved to the United States, and like just due to language barrier growing up, my mom didn't know how to speak any English, so I didn't learn any English, and we were struggling just to put food on the table, and we were struggling just to maintain a normal life. And I think that's why I struggle with depression and anxiety, just because of the background that I've had and the challenges that I faced during my life.
So where does psychology go from here? Well, we've seen the medical model, which provides structure with proven ways to treat disorders by providing diagnosis and medication. Moving forward, though, psychology must integrate the alternative approach that takes into account human experience. That way the whole person can be seen and his disorder can be treated the best way possible. And this is all effective, and it's effective why? Because if clinical psychology were to use the medical model and alternative approach at the same time, both can be used to find the best possible output, and the whole person can be evaluated.